solving an equation using the odd root property problem type 2. So it turns out with this topic that the hard part actually comes in at the end. So I'm going to go a little quickly to solving the problem. So we have this solve the quantity v plus 7 cubed plus 16 equals 0. So we're just going to subtract 16 from both sides and then take the cube root of both sides. Negative 16, and since we're taking the cube root, we don't have to do anything special with the negative. That's not going to cause a problem. So we get v plus 7 equals, also we don't have plus or minus because we're taking the odd root of both sides. So it's only if you have fourth root, square root, something where you're trying to undo an even exponent that you get the plus or minus. Okay, anyway, so cube root negative 16. Okay, so now we need to subtract that 7, and then move that guy down, and then deal with this cube root and simplifying this cube root. So we get negative 7 plus cube root negative 16. Okay, so this is the answer, but Alex does want us to simplify. First of all, whenever you take the cube root of a negative number or any odd root of a negative number, it's just going to be negative. So we can absolutely go ahead and write this as just negative 7 minus the cube root of positive 16. So it's like we're just bringing the negative out. You can do that with the odd roots. So now we have to think about trying to simplify this thing, and this is what can be a little annoying. So we have to try and figure out, does 16 have a factor, a number that goes into it, that's a perfect cube? So let's just write down some perfect cube numbers. So I'll do like x cubed, make a little table. Okay, so 1 is a perfect everything. 2, so 2 cubed is 8. Oh, wait a minute. 8 goes into 16. I'll just do one more. 3 cubed, and you can use your calculator to help you. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Okay, that's too big anyway. So 8 is a perfect cubed. So I'm going to write, maybe I'll just kind of do it over here. Yeah. Cube root of 16, I can write that as the cube root of 8 times 2. So I can actually take the cube root of 8, and it's just 2. You could put it in your calculator if we're in the Alex calculator. So cube root of 8 is 2. But then we still have this 2 hanging out inside that cube root. So bringing it back over to our v solution, we'll have negative 7 minus 2 times the cube root of 2. And so you could put this into your calculator and figure out approximately what it is as a decimal, and then use that decimal answer just because it's a little easier to check. And at least, you'll know that you have the right thing. The only thing that doesn't check is if you've got it fully simplified. But anyway. Okay, let's try another one. So we've got w plus 5, the quantity cubed, minus 72 equals 0. And so I'm going to go ahead and just add that 72 to both sides so that I have my w plus 5 cubed equals 72. And so now I would take the cube root of both sides. Yet again, there's not a plus or minus because everything's odd in terms of our roots and our exponents. So we just get w plus 5 equals cube root of 72. And so we're going to subtract the 5, and then we're going to look at the 72, see if there's any way we could simplify the cube root of 72. So we've got w is equal to negative 5 plus cube root of 72. And so let's make that little table again and see if we notice perfect cube numbers that go into 72. You might already be thinking it's actually going to be the same as the previous one, so you can kind of skip writing down the 1, but I don't know. it's hard for me to skip over stuff. 2 cubed is 8. 8 does go into 72. You could look at 3 cubed being 27, but if you check, 27 doesn't go into 72. And so you can kind of just keep going until you're pretty confident you found the largest number that's a perfect cubed. So over in the second column, that actually goes into 72 as a factor. So cube root of 72, let's write that as cube root, so 72 equals cube root of 8 times 9. And I kind of skipped this on the previous one. I'll go ahead and write this out as we can split this into 2 separate cube roots. So cube root of 8 times the cube root of 9. And cube root of 8 is just the whole number 2. So this is 2. And then cube root of 9, you kind of want to do something with that, but you actually can't. You could divide it by 3, but you can't take the cube root of 9. So it's just 2 times the cube root of 9. And so bring that back over, and we get that our final answer is negative 5 plus 2 times the cube root of 9.